Hello, everybody. I remain my humble self, Bobo Benson Bogwiba, and CEO of Information Generation Academy. Now, I'll be taking you through a very interesting topic today, which is a personal volunteer development plan. Now, some people might be asking, what is personal volunteer development plan? What's the topic about? Is it important? Yes, it is. Just take your time, calm down as we go together through this class. And I so much believe this is a class that will be changing somebody's life forever. So please and please, more thanks to Artsy, because it is only on Artsy platform that I can drop this type of a lesson for free. Okay, so you guys should applaud Artsy for a well done job. Artsy is doing superb. Artsy is doing great, because if at all we will have a reason to change our communities, we must first of all have a reason to change ourselves. If at all we must have a reason to change our communities, we must first of all have a reason to love ourselves and to work together as a people. Now, let's get into it. Introduction. What is a personal volunteer development plan? Now, I abbreviated it as a Pvdp. Now, a personal volunteer development plan, or a Pvdp, is a document created by a volunteer to articulate his or her vision, goals, skills, and passion in order to choose the most relevant volunteer opportunity. Now, I think it would be right for us to first of all look at the term volunteerism. What is volunteerism? I am coming up with this topic because of the state of its importance. A very good African youth, a very good Nigerian youth, a very good northern youth is not volunteerism oriented. We don't value volunteerism. But let me shock you today. If you have been seeing this word volunteer, 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 and have been running away from it, that have ever been the greatest of your opportunity in life. The reason is because that is where you accumulate the experiences needed. But most of us keep running away from it because we keep money first. Now, the bad news is this. In life, money comes last. And the reason why I'm saying money comes last is the fact that money is a reward paid for a service. The question is, what services have you rendered, or what product have you taken to the market that you want to be paid for? So from that angle, we should agree with each other that money comes last in life. You must do something to be paid for. You must do something to be paid for. Most of us so much believe in luck. Now let me give you the bad side of it. That luck is a living thing, and luck in itself is looking for a prepared mind. So the moment you send luck on an errand, and then it gets closer into getting into somebody, and he realizes the person is not ready, luck runs away. Because he's a living being. Luck wants to be utilized. So please and please, this particular lecture is very important. This, as I said, is a class that will be changing somebody's entire career for good. Now, to volunteer is to willingly or wishfully be part of a system without being paid, or to be willing to submit yourself to an organization, to a company, to a business setting, to work for a system without necessarily being paid. let me use the word necessarily being paid, because there are other organizations that pay you as a volunteer, but you are not on their payroll as a staff. As such, whatever they chooses to give you at the end of the week, at the end of the month, that's what you take home. But knowing very well that it might not even come. Now, why is volunteerism important? Why is volunteerism important? I want to tell you that volunteerism is the key to the padlock. Is the key to the padlock to accessing the secret behind every organization. If at all you want to learn something, look out for that organization that is already doing what you want to do. Step up to the person, step up to the organization, and tell them that, yeah, here am I. I want to work for you for free. The first thing is that the person will be looking at you as if you're mad. For free? This one wants to work for me for free? Yes. But the moment you key into the place, you know within yourself that I am here because I want to learn how the place is working. I am here to learn how everything is being handled. And as such, it becomes very paramount to the journey ahead of you that whatever you're given, wherever you're sent to, is a class. Now, how do we get to know those organizations we ought to volunteer for? That is the essence of this particular lesson. So as to call our attention to the fact that you don't just volunteer into any organization simply because they are paying their volunteers. Is a very wrong idea. And I see it common with us, the youth, specifically in the north, much more in the northeast, now that we have the insurgency as a business deal, and then all these international organizations are pulling in, the local organizations are getting grants to render a help as assumed, and so working for an NGO now becomes a big deal. But the question is, why do you want to work for that organization? Even if you are going to be working as a paid volunteer, the question again is, what are you going to be left out with aside money the moment that organization falls off? And as such, I put across this lesson to guide you properly into making a decision. Before you dive into a particular organization, make sure that you and the organization have something in common. You have what to give as well as what to get. Don't just dive into seeking for opportunities in life because of money. No. Seek out for opportunities that will create a system so as for you to pour in your knowledge in order for a particular problem to be solved. That's why, again, we said the Pvdp is a document created by a volunteer, that's you, to accumulate his or her vision, goals, skills, and passion in order to choose the most relevant volunteer opportunity. It means you must first of all, as a person, have your vision, have your goals and skills, know exactly that which you're passionate about, and then the moment you go out there looking for that volunteer opportunity, you must be looking out for an organization that is already established, through which your vision, your goals, your skills, and that which you love doing is the reason behind the establishment of the organization. And as such, the moment you dive in there, you will realize that you are learning one thing or the other in every second of your survival within that system. Now, another thing we must look out for, even as we dive into these things, are some key specific words which is vision, goals, skills, and passion. Please write them somewhere and then we get there together. Now, why do you need a personal volunteer development plan? That's a question to be answered, because it is very important you get to understand why you need it. Now, as a volunteer, you need a personal volunteer development plan because it helps you to understand the following. One, understand why you are volunteering. Two, list what you have to offer in terms of skills and time. Three, articulate what you hope to learn from every volunteering experience. Four, choose the volunteer opportunity that is best fit for you. This is an opportunity that is in line with your passion, requires the skills you already have, enables you to learn the skills you desire, and in line with your vision and long or short-term goals. Evaluate your vision, goals, and plans for the future as it relates to your career and development as a person. Now, let's understand what is happening here very critically. Number 3, we said choose the volunteer opportunity that is best fit for you. That means as a person, as an individual, we must not just go for what everybody is going for. Choice is very important in life. You must know exactly that which is in for you. Don't just be rushing out because there is there is a call for application on the internet. Every call for application, you are jumping into it. That means you don't even have what to give. Because he who knows what he has knows where he ought to dive into as such. It's not everything that you keep applying for. No wonder some of us don't even know how to put in our CVs for the right application. You imagine a graduate that finishes the university in 2000 and he's applying for a job in 2010 with the same CV he wrote when he was in school. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Now, the 5th one says you evaluate your vision, goals, and plans for the future as it relates to your career and personal development. Now, whenever you're diving into a system as a volunteer, you must make sure that the system will help you reach out to your vision. Except that, please don't be part of it. Don't be part of it. I personally decided to key into Artsy because of the uniqueness I have seen. Artsy is the best fit for me. The reason is because I love helping people. Whenever I have the opportunity to teach somebody something, there is that complete satisfaction in me. And Artsy, it's all about helping. Artsy, it's all about people coming together to share what they have in order for people to progress. So if at all I cannot be part of any organization as a volunteer, the Arewa Development Support Initiative, Artsy, is the best fit. So don't just go into a system because you are going to be paid. No. Rather, step into what will propel you into getting to your vision. Now, we must get it very clearly articulated that the personal volunteer development plan can also be used for career development, meaning it will help you evaluate your career goals, the skills you need to learn to help you achieve those goals, and to help you find relevant volunteer opportunities where you can learn those skills and advance in your career. We've stated it before now that your vision should be the reason of you being part of any other organization. But the question is, do you really know your vision? We'll answer that question later. Now, how to create your own personal volunteer development plan. For one, that's you as a person. To have a great personal volunteer development plan, the following 7 factors must be carefully considered. Please and please, it is very important that you get to understand these 7 steps. The moment you get in this very well, your issue is solved. The first one is your vision statement. Do you know your vision? Do you have a vision? Have you written it somewhere so that it sticks to your mind as a reminder? Every single morning as you wake up, you see it and then you know that this is where I'm heading to. Have you realized your passion? That's the second. What is it that you love doing? Money out of things. What is it that you love doing? There must be one thing attached to your life that once you have it done, you are satisfied, whether you are recognized or not, whether you are paid or not. The moment you have that particular thing done, you are satisfied. Have you realized that? What are your skills? What is it that you love doing, you are creative about? What are those skills that you have? And what are those skills that you must learn in order to get to your vision? Do you really know them? Even if you're not good at them now, but you should know that if you want to become a professional driver, the first thing you need to do is to go to a driving school. You don't just wake up and see yourself on the road driving. No, that one is a wish, and everybody can wish out for something. Set your goals. The moment you have your vision clearly stated, the next thing is to put across your goals in accordance to their state of priorities on how to get to that place. Then fifth is that you define your impact. The moment you arrive at your vision, what impact must it have been left behind? You don't live life because you just want to be known. Live life because you want to change life. Live life because some other people's lives depend on you getting to your vision. As such, our visions must be clearly defined in such a way that instead of us to feel arrived, rather, it should be that the moment you arrive at your vision, a very good road must have been created for others to pass. Set a timeline. When there's a vision, there must be time attached to it, because life in itself is a game of time. We are living as living beings because of time, and there is nothing that defines the whole of your life than a second. Now listen to me very well. A second is all that defines you. Watch out on your clock as it ticks. Tap, tap, tap. That's your life. The moment it ticks, tap, and it refuses to move to the next second, that means you are a history, you're gone. And as such, you must learn to take advantage of every single second over making an impact in somebody's life, because the next second might be another person doing it, not you. Then describe your ideal opportunity. If you have a chance in life, which we all do have, just that we are very good claimers that time is not enough and stuff like that. I'll get there. Describe exactly the opportunity you would love to grab in order to help somebody. Now, let's step into the first one. Define your vision. By definition, a vision is defined as the mental picture of a preferred future. The mental picture of a preferred future. Have you ever imagined yourself being a governor and you're seated in that office? All around you are security officers and stuff like that, that state of enjoyment. That's somebody's vision, to become a governor. What do you hope to achieve with your life? What do you hope to help create? What problem do you want to help solve? What career do you want to build? It is important to note that this vision does not have to be fixed. As you grow, your vision might change. So do not burden yourself with having to know it all to write this down. Just write down what you really have in mind that you want to become. Put it down, and then the journey begins. A very most important thing here is that this is saying that the journey of a mile starts with a second. Now, that second is you realizing what you want to become. Just put it down, and then the journey begins. Other things will be coming across you, knowing exactly what you're doing and where you're heading for. Find your passion. List the areas of service or career path that you are most passionate about. What are those things that you love doing? Passion is about you doing what you love. Because in life, the moment you key into doing what you don't love, you're only acting life. You're only living someone else's life. You're only proving another person's opinion of you. It is not you that is living. Because for you to live, you must be satisfied. For you to be satisfied, you must love what you're doing. Please, let us stop being slaves of our own selves simply because we want to follow the majority. There is no uniqueness in doing what everybody is doing. Choose to differentiate yourself by doing what you love doing. Yes. Choose to differentiate yourself by doing what you love doing. What problems, jobs, or areas do you feel very strongly about and will enjoy doing without pay? Without pay. For instance, you could be passionate about youth development or women's empowerment, accounting, media, or other areas. This is very important. This is very important. Identify your skills. List all the skills you need to have to achieve all your goals and make your vision come to life. After listing all the skills you needed, note the skills you already have, the ones you need to improve on, and others you need to acquire. We must get it very clearly to ourselves that if I want to become a driver, I must have that driving skills. If all you want to become is a professional driver, somebody that can turn around cars just like a keke and stuff like that, there are skills that must be in you. That's why if you see the way somebody handles a bike, you imagine, is this guy human? That's skill. He has mastered the act of driving that bike. Don't just jump because you had a dream yesterday night and then you were doing anyhow with a bike. Carry a bike, go to the road, and then you want to perform miracle. You'll be buried. There must be a skill behind it. Set your goals. Now, set the short and long-term goals you need to achieve to make your vision possible. Make sure to set SMART goals. Now, goal setting in itself is a class I'll be taking us through in some other times. If we're talking about setting SMART goals, SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Define your impact. Define what kind of impact you will make in order for you to be fulfilled. If you just hate seeing people without clothes, then it has become a must for you to empty on the street and clothing them. If you're the type that don't want to see children cry, get to orphanage homes. That's where you see people that have nobody. We, the Northerners, now have much to do with ourselves because of the level of people suffering and crying and living in shambles in places they called IDP camps. I'm using that word "they called" because it's somebody that coined the word. It was programmed because certainly there must be game plan in order to distort people and take people out of their homes for some people to make money. Some of the people that are living in those IDP camps are wealthy people then. It has never occurred to them that a day like this will come when they will be fed just like any other person. But today, they are there, not because they had wanted to be there, but because there's a problem that God created, a problem that got them homeless, an issue, a problem that got them to where they are. They never plan it. They never plan it. So if you are the type that is passionate about women's empowerment, and the kind of impact that will make you fulfilled could be to see more women have access to startup capital, new business skills, and other resources. Now, one of the leading impact of the Information Generation Academy as a leadership and entrepreneurship institution is to change the mindset, is to change the perception of people from job seeking into job creation by just believing in yourself and starting up an idea. That's the basis behind the establishment of the Information Generation Academy. To change the perception of people. See, we have been living so long for others. It is time for us to live for ourselves. The names you keep mentioning every day, the people you keep seeing on your screen every day, get it because they had written it down as an impact. They want to help you. So if you want to get there, also write it as an impact that you want to help somebody and start it now. Set a timeline. You must be defined in accordance to time before every other thing can become possible. Define how much time you have to dedicate to volunteerism and at what frequency. For example, if you have a day job, you might be able to dedicate 4 hours on the weekend for the next 6 months. For you to volunteer, for you to work freely for an organization, you have that liberty of your time that you don't have to be coming 7 a.m. every morning and stuff like that. But you must give yourself that frequency. If you're saying, fine, I am dedicating my time every weekend 4 hours in order to help a particular orphanage home, please do it knowing that it leads you into your vision. It leads into your vision. And the moment you get there, boom, life just becomes something else. Describe your ideal opportunity. That's the last step. Describe your ideal opportunity. To do this, answer these questions. At what kind of organization will I like to volunteer? Personalize it to yourself. What will I like to do at the organization? What will I like to learn on the job? A sample answer could read, I would like to volunteer at an educational organization where I could teach mathematics to less privileged children and in the process sharpen my communication and interpersonal skills. Now, let's get it very clear. You can see that you already have that teaching mentality. You have that teaching zeal. You are passionate about teaching. And not just teaching anything. You are good at mathematics. So the skill you're leveraging here is your mathematical ability. And because you are passionate about teaching mathematics, you want to teach not just everybody, but the less privileged children. Now, what you want to attain to at the end of the tunnel is that the process will sharpen up your communication and interpersonal skills. It makes you learn the act of public speaking. It makes you master the act of public speaking. And for interpersonal skills, other things that you don't have then, by mastering that act of public speaking, a lot of things will be unveiled to you. As such, this lesson is not just an ordinary lesson. This is something you must take your time. This is something you must do practically yourself. Nobody can come up with your personal volunteer development plan. It is you that must sit down and do it yourself. Note, one important point to note is that your personal volunteer development plan is a living document that you will revisit and revise as situations change. This exercise will help you search for volunteer opportunities and help you get the best out of the one you select. Now, having come to the end of this amazing class, I want you to get to understand this, that we are able to come as a people to learn from each other, to share the opportunity of the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant, because an organization exists, and that organization is called Arewa Development Support Initiative. Now, Arewa Support Development Initiative exists to help people. It's a charitable based organization. And now, the reason why you have the opportunity to apply for this very grant, which we're hoping that we scale through to be one among the awardees, is because people have chosen to volunteer to be part of the Arewa Development Support Initiative. And as such, don't you think it is important for you to also be actively involved in this movement, so that tomorrow you'll be teaching somebody what you know? And that is how we're going to spread ourselves, just like the coronavirus. This time around is for good. We have to contaminate ourselves with the like minds of the top. The top I'm talking about, please, is the artsy top, not the other top. I know, like that one. You know, we must learn to come together. We must learn to work together as a people. And that is what Arewa Development Support Initiative is all about. People coming together to help themselves. Now, how does ATSI as an organization get its resources? Please, don't think that ATSI as an organization is a money bank. No. ATSI is surviving because people like you and I decide to come together and be contributing to 2,000 naira every month. Simple. Where the money goes will be determined by ATSI as an organization, but all you need to do is to make sure that consistently, or within the space of time as you do have it, you're giving 2,000 naira for ATSI to use that money to help somebody. And if I can vouch for one thing I have seen practically within the organizational settings of ATSI, is transparency. ATSI is an international non-governmental organization because the president or the founder, Mrs. Hurera Musa, lives in the UK. And we have people from the United States. We have people from all across the world who are indigenously Nigerians from the north that are saying, the life we're living out there is not just about us. We have our own people home that need to experience a different phase of life, different settings of life, different mindset that need to be developed within them. And as such, they choose to avail themselves either directly or indirectly through ATSI with their resources to help the people of the northern Nigeria. And as such, for you to have benefited from what ATSI have, that today you're coming across this very important multi-million naira lesson for free, you don't just take it to go, but take it to remain, so that tomorrow you will give your own 2,000 naira. Tomorrow you will avail your own skill. Tomorrow you can go out on the street and sweep the street, because ATSI have changed the orientation of your thinking. Now, in summary, the one-page Pvdp looks like what you're seeing on the screen. What is your vision statement? Write your vision statement. And now, whatever it is that you're writing, start with I. Put your name. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to become in life? Put it down. The moment you have all these spaces answered, please print it. See, in my room is a crazy zone. How I wish with time I might have to put this the what do we call it, the camera, so that you will see some things. Lot of papers pasted on my walls and stuff like that, because the moment I just look on the wall, I see something that will remind me of what I decided to do. So the first person you ought to be accountable to in life is yourself. And then second, the people that lives around you is very important. It's very important. When you live with 5 fools, whether you like it or you don't like it, consciously or unconsciously, you're going to be the 6th. And that's the same thing that happens when you live with 5 smart people. You end up being the 6th. Then what more of it that we have a collection of brains from across the world that have a different mindset than that of the normal Nigerians that we have to benefit from. I'm talking about the ATSI. So please key into ATSI and let's make Arewa great again. Thank you very much. I pray and I hope that this lesson find its way into changing your life for good. You can visit the website of Information Generation Academy at igacademyng.com, www.igacademyng.com. There are a lot of personal and entrepreneurial lessons there, both paid and free, that will change your life for good. Let's do it together. Let's make Arewa proud. Thank you.